Hi, I'm a fan of using alignment in Dungeons & Dragons as a guide for player characters and dungeon masters to build great stories. Why use alignment? Alignment provides a guide for a character or creature's likely moral actions, though it should never determine them. For mortal creatures, alignment is a habitual but malleable convention. However, for immortal or supernatural creatures, it is an integral rigidity. A character or creature's alignment should be defined according to where it typically falls on the scale of good versus evil and law versus chaos. If their behavior typically falls close to the middle of scale, they are considered neutral, having no strong preference for either position. There are 5 general alignment paths that can help you to make an interesting character: good, evil, lawful, chaotic, and neutral. Lawful characters believe well-being comes from the unity that results from everyone following laws or traditions. Doing so increases the group's effectiveness by driving everyone towards a shared purpose. A lawful character typically follows the rules, respects hierarchy, and believes in the mutual benefits that come from being part of society. They accept that they must give up some of their personal freedoms to fit their society's needs. This sacrifice strengthens the group, empowering it to create better opportunities for everyone in it. Those who accept obedience to legitimate authority are lawful. On the downside, lawful can foster fixed mindsets, a resistance to change, and encourage exclusion of difference. Chaotic characters believe well-being comes from the freedom to choose one's own path. As an individual, one must listen to their conscience in order to choose the best action in the moment. A chaotic character typically pushes aside rules, disdains hierarchy, and believes individuals benefit from seeking a unique path. They believe individuals should not limit themselves by always conforming to expectations, as doing so denies their personal truth. Those who follow chaos support personal freedom, individuality, and follow their internal desires are chaotic. On the downside, chaotic can foster irresponsibility, unpredictability, and resentment to authority. Good characters care about others and act in ways that benefit all lives, not just their own. They make personal sacrifices, protect the innocent, and defend the weak to promote the well-being of all. When aware of evil schemes, they are compelled to act to defeat them. A good person would use precious resources and risk their life to protect innocents, even a stranger's. Well-being for good characters typically includes establishing empathetic, kind, caring, and safe environments in which they strive for peace. Neutral characters focus on their own well-being and the well-being of those they care about. They defend their own and support their allies. Neutral characters may help or harm others based on their goals. However, they can be empathetic towards others' disparity. A neutral person would use precious resources and might risk their life to protect a family member or even their homeland, but they would unlikely do so for a stranger. Well-being for neutral characters typically includes establishing empowering, prosperous, and advantageous environments in which they strive for success. Evil characters act to ensure their well-being exceeds that of others. Indeed, the degree of their excess is the measure of their success. Therefore, evil creatures actively debase, destroy, and devalue others. To create and widen this disparity, an evil character would use precious resources and risk personal harm to increase their power. Well-being for evil characters typically includes establishing oppressive, greedy, and aggressive environments in which they strive for dominance. There are 10 specific alignment paths. 3 follow the good path: lawful good, the crusader, neutral good, the benefactor, chaotic good, the rebel, and 3 follow the neutral path, lawful neutral, the judge, true neutral, the equalizer, chaotic neutral, the free spirit, and 3 follow the evil path, lawful evil, the dominator, neutral evil, the malefactor, chaotic evil, the destroyer, and the last follows no path, the unaligned, known as the survivor. Lawful good characters believe they can be a strong force for good by being part of an organized group. They like order, trust in laws, and follow lawfully designated authorities. Lawful good characters try their best to follow the expectations of their society. They recognize that there must be consistent consequences for those who fall short, to promote future good. Flaw: lawful good characters may oppress individuality, believing that supporting conformity benefits the greater good. Belief: by working together, we achieve more, which will bring more benefits to all. This requires individual sacrifice and dedication. Lawful good primary traits are loyal, selfless, and reliable. Examples of lawful good characters are Captain America, Hermione Granger, Yoda, and Lord Elrond. Neutral good characters believe that the best path to goodness isn't fixed and is dependent on circumstance. Anyone who is neutral good is devoted to following the path of what is right, regardless of laws or personal freedoms. They support that there needs to be reliable consequences for breaking key social agreements, but these need to be assessed based on circumstances. Flaw: neutral good characters may seem unpredictable, as they may alter their plan to shift with the greater good. Belief: sometimes you must go into the flow with others, and sometimes you must go on your own against the flow. The direction that leads towards the greater good is the direction that needs to be taken. Neutral good primary traits are kind, helpful, and adaptable. Examples of neutral good characters are Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Princess Leia, and Gandalf. Chaotic good characters follow their own conscience when determining a good path. They feel that adhering to rules can cloud one's personal truth, diminishing well-being overall. Someone who believes in goodness but has no regard for social restraints is chaotic good. These characters support that direct consequences for one's actions must be the primary deterrent for evil behavior. Flaw: chaotic good characters may not wait for others before responding alone to a dangerous situation when lives are at risk. Belief: you can only become your best self and thereby help others by acting according to your own feelings and thoughts. Often, you must stand alone to quiet outside voices. Chaotic good primary traits are maverick, resolute, and passionate. Examples of chaotic good characters are Tony Stark, Hagrid, Han Solo, and Aragorn. Lawful neutral characters enjoy being part of a social system which provides purpose and benefits to its members. They are primarily concerned with security, survival, and prosperity for themselves and those they care about. When empathetic to others outside their group, they may show supportive behavior. Alternatively, for their own benefit, they can engage in harmful behavior towards those they see as other. Flaw: lawful neutral characters may ignore their own sense of right or wrong to conform to the will of their group. Belief: our shared purpose and identity is what allows us to overcome obstacles and thrive. Lawful neutral primary traits are fair, committed, and conventional. Examples of lawful neutral characters are Judge Dredd, Filch, Mace Windu, and a Boromir. True neutrals believe that existence requires the contest between opposing cosmic forces. They will either choose to support this cosmic balance or just ignore it. A true neutral does not consistently advance a particular primary path, but seeks a point of balance. Those who have chosen a cosmic path often question a true neutral's choices and sometimes their sanity. Flaw. True neutral characters may be apathetic when encountering circumstances that typically unsettle most other creatures. Belief. Life is but a fuel for the flame of existence. Choosing a path to follow makes little difference to the flame, as all burn. True neutral primary traits are composed, aware, and intuitive. Examples of true neutral characters are Groot, Gringotts' Goblin, C-3PO, and Bjorn the Beastman. Chaotic neutral characters believe in themselves and often little else. They are apt to take advantage of their current situation and those around them. They strive to build their knowledge and skills so they can adapt and overcome whatever obstacles life sends their way. Committing long-term is a fool's prerogative, but the safe bet is on the law of chaos, that the universe is constantly changing and so must they. Flaw. Chaotic neutral characters are prone to accepting short-term benefits before considering long-term consequences or gains. Belief. Fighting life's currents will only get you drowned. Better to be free to change with the currents. However, sometimes you must swim with others because you may need a hand or a flotation device. Chaotic neutral. Primary traits are impulsive, original, and egotistical. Examples of chaotic neutral characters are Deadpool, Snape, Boba Fett, and a Gollum. Lawful evil characters believe that the route to true power is to ascend in a powerful organization. They are often systematic and efficient killers who are merciless to those outside their group and opportunistic towards those in their group. Their power and influence rests primarily in their position, which is maintained by authority. Through hierarchy, one can use others to become greater. Flaw. Lawful evil characters may allow their allies to fail if required to by their organization. Belief. Order and authority are the cogs that drive society so one can obtain greater power than that which could be achieved alone. Lawful evil primary traits are strict, merciless, and systematic. Examples of lawful evil characters are Thanos, Lucius Malfoy, Darth Vader, and Oathbound Undead. The neutral evil character is unconcerned with social expectations as its actions are always self-serving, callous, and focused on power. They look on all things as tools to be used for their evil plans and openly disdain anything they do not consider useful. They see themselves as the main piece in a chess game who does not need to be the strongest, but whose needs are most important. Neutral evil characters will layer plans upon plans to ensure they wind up ahead. Flaw. Neutral evil characters are difficult to predict, making allies and enemies nervous. Belief. To achieve great things, you must always be willing to do anything, at any time, to anyone. Only the end matters. Everything and everyone you sacrifice to achieve that end was worthwhile. Neutral evil primary traits are malevolent, uninhibited, and manipulative. Examples of neutral evil characters are Joker, Professor Quirrell, Emperor Palpatine, and Grima Wormtongue. Chaotic evil characters desire personal power to dominate others. They may submit to those with more power in order to survive and to become more powerful so they can one day take control. For chaotic evil, intrinsic power is the only power one should count for the subjugation of others, as the strong are meant to rule the weak. Flaw: chaotic evil characters may accept abuse and humiliation as they wait for an opportunity that may never occur. Belief: power is never given, it is taken and maintained through regular demonstrations. Chaotic evil primary traits are violent, volatile, and cruel. Examples of chaotic evil characters are Ultron, Voldemort, Darth Maul, and Sauron. An unaligned creature is unaware of good or evil or even law or chaos. An unaligned creature is concerned only with its survival in its environment. Typically, they are incapable of conceptualizing morality and categorize the world in simple terms such as benefits, threats, and irrelevant. Flaw: unaligned creatures may likely devour creatures before realizing they could be of help. Belief: I follow my inherent purpose and do not question my nature. Unaligned primary traits are habitual, focused, and true. Examples of unaligned creatures are Godzilla, Aragog, Rancor, and Mumakil. Alignment can be controversial, as at times it makes connections to our real-world beliefs. Once upon a time, alignment in both the real and role-playing world was primarily perceived as binary, with good and evil as the main points on a linear scale. However, modern moral relativism has added many branches to that scale by accounting for culture, context, and time. This turns worlds once perceived as black and white to all kinds of gray. For this reason, in the role-playing world, many prefer to abandon restrictive views of alignment, allowing characters to set their own moral compass for each encounter. However, I think for a player, the alignment system can streamline paths to action by avoiding moral ambiguities for many encounters, such as when you stumble upon a band of orcs attacking a village wagon, or a harpy swooping down on a villager. Being an old-school dungeon master, I like my villains evil. Evil in the sense they enjoy absolute power over others and use violence to validate it, not evil in the sense that they have a different world view and are just misunderstood. I believe the alignment system has value for dungeon masters shaping their worlds to promote rich behavioral diversity in our stories, while it supports the rationale for a cosmic struggle, which influences the world and possibly the campaign. To this end, like many before me, I attempt to define and clarify alignment paths so they are helpful but not deterministic guidelines that enhance your shared stories.